Buttons can be added to an Adobe Acrobat PDF file. Buttons are needed if the document is configured to open in full screen mode. Buttons are really helpful for users who may be unfamiliar with the keyboard shortcut-based navigation. They can assist an icon appearance, and the cool thing is they can be duplicated across a range of pages. So you can create a button once and apply it to multiple pages. So let's go ahead and create a simple navigational button. So what we're going to do is go to the Tools tab up in the top left, and we need to add Rich Media Tools. So look under the Create and Edit section, and we're going to find the Rich Media Tools. Let's go ahead and add that shortcut over to our pane here with Tools on the right. Let's navigate back to our document, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the Rich Media Tools. So Rich Media includes adding 3D objects, adding a button, which is what we're going to be doing, adding sound, adding video, and then the ability to select those objects that we've made. So let's go ahead and select the Add button. And I'm going to click out on the page, and we'll just place this kind of temporarily. Let's put it down here at the bottom. So by clicking, I now have a button on my page. What we want to do is go ahead and play with this setting. So we want to get into the button properties. By double clicking on that button, I'm able to bring up my button properties. So we have a General tab, Appearance, Position, Options, and Actions. Let's start navigating here at the first General tab. So we want to give it a name. So I'm going to name this Next Button, and you'll see how these naming titles appear on my button. And my tooltip, so the tooltip, remember, is when a user hovers over that area, a tooltip will appear. In this case, it'll state Next. Let's do Next Page. And actually, I'm going to do this as Next Page as well. So my name is Next Page, and my tooltip is Next Page. So if we want the form field visible, we'll keep it as that. We can make it hidden as well. Ends up being kind of a Where's Waldo type of game. And then the orientation. Let's go on to Appearance. All right, so in my Appearance, you can select if you want to have a border color or a fill color. I'm choosing not to have a border color. I'll do a fill color just so that we can identify it. You can become very creative. If you do want this to be completely invisible, you could have actually a button that you've designed on your PDF, and then you're basically making this area be sort of a hotspot for usability, where you're not actually designing the button in the PDF button properties, but rather you've done it prior in another software. All right, so then I can choose what I'd like my font size to be. I'd like my font to be text color. Okay, so this is where we play with all of those. Let's go on to position. So this is the position where this button is to be placed. And you may want to take note or have these lined up in a very neat way if you're going to be consistent from page to page. So, I may want to have it positioned in the same spot so that if I am placing this, on other pages, that it looks the same. Okay, so left, right position, the width. Let's make the height a little bit larger so that all of our text is visible. Okay, on to options. So here's where we can choose some options. We want the layout to be label. We could just do icon if we did not want to see that text. Behavior when this button is clicked. So on a mouse up, what may happen. And then the actions. And here we also can put a label. I'm going to not I'm going to leave this empty for now, and we're going to look at what happens. We can always go back in and edit our button properties. Let's go to actions. So here's where I state what action is going to occur. So by default, it starts with a mouse up. This is typically where you want navigation to occur, because on a mouse down, it happens too quickly for the user to understand what just happened. If it's on a mouse up, it gives them that ability to kind of think through, okay, I clicked, now when I click up, it's going to go. It also gives the ability to scroll off that area if they clicked in it by error, and so the mouse up doesn't actually occur because they're off of that hotspot area. So examples that I could do as far as an action, I could execute a menu task. I could go to a page view. I could play a sound. There's a lot of different items here. I'm going to execute a page or a menu item, and I'm going to click add. So here are my menu items. I'm going to add, and let's do next page. So this is a view page navigation next page. Clicking OK, and I'm going to close it. Let's actually close out of this area. Before we start, take a look. There's no label. That is because I left that label area empty. But it did work. It did work. It went to page 2. I'm going to go back. What I need to do is open up Rich Media once again, because in order to do any edits to this button, I do need to have my select object. That's the tool that allows me to select this object. So when I double click, I'm able to select. Let's go ahead and put a label here. And we'll just call this next. And go ahead and close it. All right, let's close out of this menu. And this is what I see. So I see my next button. Notice my cursor will change as it scrolls over that area. And when I click, it takes me to page 2. So if I wanted to do the reverse and go backwards, what I can do is same kind of concept, except for this case, instead of a next page, it would be a previous page. So those are buttons in Acrobat.